Yes, this is Point Black, coming in hard and off the card, coming with the flow, straight from the barrio, and coming with that heat from the damn street. This is PBNN Point Black National News, the lead in the great edition, and the ghetto edition as well, because this is what we must do. There is no way for us to see it any other way. You see, because many people want to come into this world because this is the late and the great edition with the facts, the crack backs, the bone bit to the line and slips. They want to come into the world and they want to be able to take away your right on many things. Who gave them the power or who gave them the right to do such a thing is very important, as we see. The number one thing that we must start to look at is how these people sit up and what I call culture steal. You know what I'm saying? Which they do. You know what I'm saying? We even have those that's coming over here to this country and they bring the same ideology in many ways, you know what I'm saying, of racism. You know what I'm saying? But they seem to be the one to always get the most help in many things. You know what I'm saying? Even when you look at many South American people who come over here, many of their cultural understanding has come from African people and Africa itself. Like I said, they did not have the ability. And I said this long time ago. And that even goes for what's going on over there in Egypt. I told people that that's not the original people of that land. You see what I'm saying? That's not the original people of the land in no way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? That's an invasion, you know what I'm saying? And then a recreation of taking my identity, taking our, as black people, identity and taking our identity, stealing our identity and giving us theirs. So in order, they try to turn it around to make sure that people in their mind don't understand the other way that it really is. So this is why they do that. You know what I'm saying? And then push on top of that some form of mentality of a superiority complex. Now, how do we know that? If you go to South America and you look at the pyramids, you look at all the artifacts, you look at many things that's over there that was put there by African people because they didn't build those pyramids. African people built those pyramids. Like I said, maybe alongside of the Mayans, because the Mayans have always seemed to have a peaceful understanding, even in many documentaries that I've looked at, you know what I'm saying, and so on and so on. You know what I'm saying? But the Aztecs and the Incas and all the other Europeans and Spaniards and everybody that went into the country, all they brought into South America, to me, was hell. You know what I mean? They didn't, like Uncle Ben said, they also didn't bring nothing into South America that was good to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how long they've been there. You know? They still didn't bring anything in good. And how you can tell a lot of the bullshit that a lot of them kick in Guatemala with the Olmec heads trying to say that that's them. You know what I'm saying? Like Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen was saying, they tried to say that they didn't have the necessary tools to make the Olmec heads look like them. You know what I'm saying? But like Yosef Ben Yakinen said, but they could make an eyebrow and they could make an eyelid and all this different stuff. You know what I'm saying? But they couldn't make it to look like African people or know what African people look like, so they made it look like what they're going to make it look like, but they really was making it look like Europeans. This is the type of mind frame that they told them and lied to them about. You see what I'm saying? Anything to discredit the Africans and the African people and their contribution of building this world from bottom to top, you know what I'm saying, has been tried to take away. And then have the nerve to organize what we call Egyptologists, who, when asked, have they ever visited the continent of Africa? No, they have not, but they're writing about Egypt. When asked, did they do any archaeology work over in Africa? No, they never been to Africa, so they never did no archaeology work. But they're Egyptologists. You see, and they're forming associations and committees and big places that look like they're so important. When you look at them sitting at that long rectangular table and they all sitting there in the conference and shit, and none of them been there. The only job they were put there to do is to continue down the road with the same ideology of brainwashing the rest of the world into believing that they are our ancestors and us as a whole, and we are nobody in the minds. That is bullshit. You know it, and when you look on the internet, you can see the truth. No matter how they try to manipulate, twist, or turn, it's still going to always come back to that. And how we know that? Every single culture and race on the planet, when asked a serious question going into detail and deep depth, the first thing they'll say, it started in Africa, or they go back to Africa again. You know what I'm saying? They don't go back to Greece, because really that's Africa in itself. But they go back to Africa to validate everything that they want to validate. You know what I'm saying? Such as we have many of these Latino people who come over here with the same type of superiority complex, racist piece of garbage bullshit. Knowing that they didn't build nothing over there that Africans put there, knowing they didn't even have the ability to build a step pyramid, you know what I'm saying, or the knowledge to even build one, you know what I'm saying, and they're walking around with that little short people on their chest called, you know, from the best or, you know, Egypt, or the, you know, and so forth, the little short people, you know what I'm saying, first, one of the first people on probably planet Earth, and probably did not necessarily come from here in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But in more ways than one, we see the same bullshit when they come over here, calling black people monkeys and all types of stupid shit. Still repeating the same Italianistic, you know, Caucasian garbage that they know has no facts, no bearing, no nothing, no science, no nothing. Just talk, lip service, force, beat down, brainwash your ass, and make you believe that shit in itself, even within your own home of these parents, teaching their kids that bullshit. To where they come out the house and say these things with no scientific facts, no archaeology work, no groundbreaking facts to break the concrete and go through the concrete and hit the floor and hit it and break that down there and keep on going. They have none of that. It is all hearsay, you know what I'm saying, as they hearsay and raise their kids and their kids hear what they say. Other than that, there's no facts. So next time, you know what I'm saying, these Latino people come over here and act as if like they built those pyramids and the Olmecs and all the African artifacts and things that you see over there, and the building of that area in its trade and all this and that was infiltrated by Europeans on the outside, and Mayans, Incas, and all these that came out the same groove as them, because what tells that is their hair. If you look at their hair, they all share the same phenotype. So how in the world would they have built those step pyramids? I don't know, because they would not have had the knowledge to do so. So really they invaded and took over the area. You know what I'm saying? And probably kill off the Africans and try to drive the Africans out, because wherever they go, they do that bullshit. As you see, when sometimes they come over here, they do the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? But they come over here with certain racist vibes that was put into their head by the missions and different churches that go over there back in the days trying to convert people in South America, and the Aztecs and the Incas and the rest of them, you know, into this and rob and steal and do all of this shit to them at the same time under the guise of the church. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the mentality, you know what I'm saying, many of them, you know, even back in the days were probably put into slavery or put into a slavist condition where they put missions, you know what I'm saying, and have popes and priests and all type of people over there teaching them this garbage. And they were going around, the popes and the priests were going around the earth doing that for many, many years. You know what I'm saying? Along with crooked government. that was formatted. You see what I'm saying? And also probably even kings. But many of them knew the truth, because when they depicted African people in Greece or even Rome or anywhere, they depicted them as black African people. They knew exactly who they were. You know what I'm saying? And we knew who exactly they were. You know what I'm saying? Before they probably even knew themselves. You know what I'm saying? But we had to do what we had to do, you know what I'm saying, in the matter. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, when they come over here, they keep using this negative bullshit, talking about calling a black person a monkey. But when we do a DNA test on them and the fur that they have on their head, I wonder what would really come up, because that's not bull hair like you have in the scriptural so-called fake ass Bible that they read, talking about, you know, Yahshua, or they're talking about Jesus, or they're talking about Jesus, or whoever, Baphomet, or whoever, but talking about he had wool hair, fiery eyes of red, and feet of burning brass. So if his feet was burning brass and he had fiery eyes of red and he had wool hair, you know what I'm saying, that's the attribute of, you know, a Rastaman, you know what I'm saying, with fiery eyes, born in eye, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, this is what they wanted to steal, because you cannot venerate something that is fake. So where do you go? They go to where? Africa again. You know what I'm saying? So the people in the churches and around the world that seem to have this conception that African people is this and African people is that, and facility, and even pushing this ideology, you know what I'm saying, on the right, in order to disrespect African people because you took over the country and you were the majority and know that the government is corrupt, wicked, beastly, just like you, and you would actually, you know, call a black man a fucking monkey. But where is the genetic evidence? Have they ever proved that? Is the question, while they coming from South America, coming over here with racism. See, we got to knock that shit out of you. Because if we was to do a DNA test on all of y'all, you're probably so mixed up with about 5-10 different races of people that make, you know, sometimes one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. If you indirectly come from Spain, Rome, or the old Roman people, the Latinos, you know what I'm saying, that call themselves that and spoke that language. You know what I'm saying? So if you indirectly come from there, then you are a mixed up race somewhere in there, and you know for what it might take 5 of them to make one of them. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? So we see the mix up even in the breed itself. When we look at many of you, we know who all invaded that area and who all did this and did that, and the third and the fourth and the fifth. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start, you know, instead of calling people names, next time you decide to call that name, you need to prove it and bring the DNA test and the archaeology work that prove that black people have any type of Neanderthal genes in them, caveman looking monkey, and any type of monkey itself in their DNA. You know what I'm saying? And we need to do a DNA test on Latino people coming from South America talking that bullshit and see what's in them. Because you're spitting the same shit that they taught you over there. You know what I'm saying? You ain't spitting no knowledgeable shit in any shape or form. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, why are you walking around with a little vest on your chest hanging off your chain? Why is you talking about black magic and all this different rooted shit that you learned from probably Africans in itself? You know what I'm saying? And using it to do harm and no good. You know what I'm saying? And driving these matters that we see of racism coming into this country by the hundreds and millions, you know what I'm saying, needs to cease and settle. You know what I'm saying? Because Africans is where it all started from in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's might try to discredit that, but I don't believe that. I don't believe if you keep going further back and further, you're still going to run into all black. You know what I'm saying? Because many of you are late comers. Like the old saying would say, you know, Johnny come lately. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? We know best is on the walls of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Many of us truly don't understand the full concept of it all when it comes to what they want to keep saying, there is a beginning. I don't believe that. I believe it always existed. in many ways. So you would have to search across the galaxy as well. You know what I'm saying? Please. You know what I mean? So we're looking at things, and today we just gonna look at, recap some news and go through this bull crap that they're putting us through, even though they talking about an insurrection like I spoke before, and found out that the whole crowd out there at the time was filled with FBI agents. No wonder Black Lives Matter wasn't there, because like I said, when I was rocking the ass in Mastic, I was watching the leader of the mulatto nutcase kid that was up there with the rest of them other dumb brothers and Caucasian out there rebelling, rousing, because you could see, when I was rocking them, they didn't want me to do that because it would have messed up their followings, and they got the minds of these wild ass kids and all this knowledge and garbage they spoke to them, probably convinced them, and then even talking about getting paid and all this from Soros and Soros funding, all this bullshit the whole entire time, and think that somebody's an idiot like him, just like Henry nutcase ass Kissinger. He's Soros the nutcase ass. All of them are screwed up and in our country doing bullshit. This is why we're in the Ukraine war. Now, if let's look at the insurrection. If that's the case, and Tucker Carlson proof is valid, and it's a fact, that they can really bring out that credible evidence, then we know full well again why Trump was not allowed to go back or go to the White House that day, because he would have opened up a can of worms on the demon democratical, schematical, set up a nigga plan. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? In more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? But we see the FBI tells investigating, they tell him that the committee not to answer certain questions. You know what I'm saying? As we recap this joint. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand why you do that when you had Nancy Pelosi, dumb say, choose the January 6th so-called insurrection committee, and had all the Republicans running like a back and forth, with your bullshit, but when it comes time for the demon Democrats to answer up the accusations and the different, alleged crimes that have been brought out about them, and was there before even the election and them being elected. So now we know why they rushed through and cheated the election, because they wanted to make sure that they censor the media of anything that creepy ass Joe Biden and his creepy family had done in the past, even going back to when he was a senator, and even before that with his crooked behind. Because he always been in our government sucking off the people's money, and then doing transactions and creeping off across the planet with garbage. Don't think that creep nut wasn't involved. These Luciferian knucklehead elongated fools is definitely, idiots in its full bloom. You can't get no better than that. But we see the FBI tells agents investigating creepy Hunter Biden, nutcase behind, not to answer certain committee questions about the case. So wait a minute. So if they're doing an investigation and you tell them not to answer it, but you go into court and the court orders you to answer it, you're still not going to answer it. So our government is really, upside down in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? And this is coming in by Bradford, look like Bids or whatever, 18 hours ago, Fox News. Sorry to mess up your name, and I'm not going to run down the road with you. You know what I'm saying? But we see the FBI has told, but I'll give you this, 18 hours ago, Eastern Standard Time. But remember, this is the late edition, and the great edition, and that. You know what I'm saying? But we see the FBI has told, former supervisory, damn, why did they make the words so damn small? I gotta enlarge it. Supervisory agent investigating creepy Hunter Biden bullcrap that he was expected not to answer certain questions from the House Oversight Committee, concerning the case. Now, you tell me when it came to Trump, we didn't hear that. All we heard was a straightforward accusation, straightforward everything coming in. It's straightforward this. I don't know what deals they made inside. I wasn't in the courtroom. And all this and that. And it seemed like, it's all bam, 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 bam when it comes to Trump. But when it comes to creep Joe Biden and shit they've been doing for years up in our government under the demon democratical baphometical overstanding of their nutcase bullshit, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to answer no question. And then it's even told them not to do so. So how do we get the true answers that we truly need is the question. You know what I'm saying? But the message was relayed in a redacted letter from the FBI General Counsel. Imagine that. Listen to his name, Jason Jones. You know what I'm saying? The night before the agent was expected to testify. Imagine that. You talking about some criminal deep state shit? Well, boom, there it is. There it is. It don't get no better. In no shape or form does this get any better. You know what I'm saying? But we see the FBI expected that you will decline to respond. He said decline to respond to questions seeking non-public information likely covered by one or more component of the executive privilege or other significant confidentially interest. What the hell is confidentially? Why would you put that there? Confidentially interest in particular information about deliberations or ongoing investigation activities in law enforcement. You full of shit then, and you're full of shit now. Just like you did the insurrection, the FBI again has been covering these people's tracks for years. You know what I'm saying? And fighting every single way for them not to be exposed. And even when they're exposed, they're still fighting to keep it in the bullshit. Rather than bring it out, let's get this shit on the table because we know they are criminal, definitely at large. But we see Homeland Security, we see the DOJ, we see the World Health Organization, the NIH, all these different organizations covering for these schools. If people have known all this shit that was going on with Joe Biden, you know what I'm saying, they probably still would elect this criminal because a lot of people have a carnal set of mind in America. Not everyone, but a great vast majority have a very carnal mind. And how we know that? COVID-19. But we see a Michigan Attorney General charge false electors over efforts to overturn the 2020 election. You know what I'm saying? As we see. We see a Michigan Attorney General, you know what I'm saying? We see Donna, whatever her name is, Nils or whatever, announced Thursday that she has filed charges from what we're seeing here, filed charges against 16 people. Now, it's kind of weird here. 16 people, okay. 16 people in this matter. 16 people in this matter. Hold on a little bit. You know what I'm saying? There are 16 people who signed a paperwork falsely claiming that the creepy ass president had won the 2020 election as part of a scheme to overturn the results. So she charges 16 people that President Donald J. Trump. No, wait, she charged 16. What the fuck she's saying? Charge against 16 people who signed a paper falsely claiming that Donald J. Trump had won. What the fuck that got to do anything? But you know what I'm saying? Because when we look at the creepy ass letter that they signed for creepy ass Biden, you know what I'm saying, trying to say this wasn't real and this wasn't true and all, and they all signed it, you know what I'm saying? You didn't investigate that, did you? You know what I'm saying? Covering creepy ass Biden, but you talking about Donald Trump and saying that he did this, and how we know that? Where's the proof? You know what I'm saying? Can you prove it? You know what I'm saying? But we see presidents are, you know, technically voted in by slates of electors from each state who cast their vote for the candidate selected by their state. You know what I'm saying? Popular vote. You know what I'm saying? Popular vote. In December 2020, as Trump tried to overturn, he did not try to overturn the election. That's a bold-faced lie, and you're running that bullshit, and you're still trying to get away with that. He did not overturn any election, nor did he try to overturn the election. What he tried to do was stop a cheat and a setup and a scheme of mathematical garbage that your demon Democrats cooked up, and probably Republicans crooked asses on the other side, you know what I'm saying, of the aisle. You know what I'm saying? Turn over the results of the election, his allies, you know what I'm saying, you know, ready alternative slates and what? Slates of election. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's bullshit. And second of all, you know what I'm saying, what was he trying to save the country from by keeping y'all dusty asses off that chief and commander seat? You know what I'm saying? It's what we need to find out. That's what you don't realize. See, you're looking at the wrong shit. But we're not looking at that. We're looking at why did Donald Trump, and you do all of this in the mix, but why did Donald Trump, most of all, did not want Joe Biden to get that spot? And now we know why in many ways. Look at what we went through with the pandemic, number one. Even the pandemic coming in as a whole, and where did it come from, and how did it get across the world now, and talking about a leak, when you talking about Andy Fauci is funding that laboratory using American people's money, you know what I'm saying, and taxpayers' money to run around the earth and do Luciferian bullshittical garbage that he believe they rule the world, you know what I'm saying, but they ain't rule nothing but that stinking shit bowl that they're shitting in, and need to go piss and drink some water unless you are alien and ain't from this planet, you know what I'm saying, but get your shit together. But at the same time, he's over there talking about he funding the Wuhan laboratory in a gain, and they were doing gain of function by taking diseases and mixing it and then putting it into people. You know what I'm saying? Why was he over there funding that laboratory, or how is America involved in anything to do with a laboratory over in China? You know what I'm saying? So this is telling us that you have sold us out by all means. I include the food, as we see Bill Gates and them trying to do the bullshit they do, the food, the medicines, and many other things that is essential to human health and well-being on the planet. These people feel that they are gods over you, so they could come up with any type of plan and it'll be so intelligent and superior, you know what I'm saying, and then run it down on you because they feel that they could run the scheme so well that your brains is inferior and they're superior, and they could fool you into doing something that you didn't want to do, but they end up doing it anyway. And then when that don't work, they cheat themselves into the seat and then come out with all types of executive orders and bullshit in order to force you into doing it, you know, physically. You know what I'm saying? Where you would be blackballed, you can't get no job because you didn't do this and you didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, going against those who the done going against those who is the un. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the un didn't do this and the un do that, and people dying and all kinds of lying ass piece of shit. But we see Ron DeSantis also said, you know what I'm saying,